All right, cyber traders, welcome on back here this Friday afternoon. TGIF closing out our week. Well, let's get a quick sound check to begin. Make sure everyone can hear me loud and clear. Taz right away on his Chiefs here going into Super Bowl weekend. Let's go Chiefs, he says. Great to see Taz, Donnie, Chuck, Norman, Debbie, Stefan, Pedro. Welcome back. Bonnie, Ron, Dave, Mario, S as well. Welcome on aboard. And for all of our new members joining us on social media, Facebook Live and YouTube, welcome on back. Hey, with this OCGN trade squeezing up here, wow. I mean, you wouldn't have expected this heading into a slow Friday, right? Typically lunchtime, there's not as much going on anyway, let alone on a Friday, the end of the week. So this really took myself by surprise. I was following I think it was the SOS stock. Maybe I'll show that if it's still on the percent gainers in a moment. But, hey, that ended up being a bust, whereas I come back and this OCGN's running. I see Rich talking about it inside the trading room. And I ended up missing a good portion of this run up. Actually, I missed the entire run up, to be honest with you. That said, it's crazy because you wouldn't have expected it to be shortable first, and you wouldn't look to try and short a stock that's just driving up like a missile. So I ended up actually, this is like the second trade this week where I ended up missing a fantastic run and what looked to be a very easy move up, squeeze up on a stock like OCGN here. I ended up going short. I took two losses for about 12 and 15 cents. That seems like a decent amount, but then I ended up jumping in from 572. And this thing drove all the way down to 5 very quickly. I ended up getting out at like 510. And then from there, it just kept going. I left a ton of money on the table too here. So, the news on this OCGN, there is no news, at least as of this morning. Like, there's no new news since yesterday. The news from yesterday morning, I copied and pasted in the chat boards. Here you are for social media. Oxygen shares trading higher after H.C. Wainwright & Co. upgraded the stock from neutral to buy, or announced a price target of $4.50 per share. Well, I'd say they blew the doors off that 450 today, right? So does that mean it's going to pull back down to 450 and that's it? Does that mean it's going to move back up even higher now? We don't know as far as that. That one upgrade or price target doesn't drive this one stock in particular. And we know that in particular just based on what we've seen from GameStop over the last couple weeks, right? That whole squeeze up started off just from a new CFO, if I'm not mistaken, within the company. So, or someone of their board, right? But nonetheless, OCGN, either way, just given its tradability, I'm definitely going to put this on our main list to begin. It's still trading, or not still, it's trading close to 200 million shares total across the day, which is certainly a lot. You would think for a stock that made such a big move up, down, and then the volume it's trading, it would be just pretty exhausted. But I'm going to give this a second look here. I feel like this could still set itself up for a move for maybe about like 50 cents, 75 cents, if not more. All right, so this ended up doing us very nicely heading into the afternoon. I got to say, though, the pre-market was great. We had two big runners from the pre-market session. And then even after that, we ended up doing pretty well after the market opened up on a few of our trades. So let's go into a couple of those to begin. The JG stock, I think it's still on the percent gainers list here now. It's up 35% still. It was up way more than that within the pre-market. By 8 o'clock, 8:30, ended up making this huge pop, breaking out from like $9 or so, running all the way up towards just about 13. But man, when the market opened up, this thing fell flat. So, really quick lesson for all of us here. This goes across the board on social media, Facebook Live, YouTube, you folk there. So, with that in mind, with a stock like JG that's up 70%, 80%, 100+% going into the market open, A, you shouldn't look to hold on to it right off the bat because odds are it's going to drop. Then B, don't try and catch the falling knife. You're expecting a bounce. Who knows if it's going to bounce? Unfortunately, this JG opened up and tanked, and that was it. It's still pretty much at the lows now, lows of the day right now. So I believe the same thing happened. What was on the AREC trade pre-market? Yeah, same thing pretty much happened there. 8 o'clock, this thing broke out very sharply from $5. Fantastic run from pre-market trading. Pretty volatile at the time. So, it looked pretty steady, but it ended up being pretty volatile as it squeezed up from like 6 afterwards all the way up towards 9. Even before the market opened up, this tanked. So you knew what was going to happen likely after 9:30. A little shake around, perhaps after the open, but it's just making the same move as that other one. All right, so at least we caught those from the morning. We had the OCGN from the early afternoon, and then you know what? I'll go through a couple of other trades at least that we had after 9:30. So the SOS stock was a little choppy. This was the one I said I was watching myself at the time of OCGN squeeze, and you could see that I ended up watching the paint dry pretty much here. But I was hoping for another run up. This was one of the better squeezes after 9:30. Ended up pulling back after the open, bounced from like 360-ish, moved all the way up towards 4 and above, broke out a couple times very nicely from 4. There was a ton of buying here to where I thought this would make a very sharp run up higher, up towards 450. I mean, I'm not greedy and hoping or expecting it to hit 5, but that would have been very interesting to see it break even higher and perhaps even move up to the next whole number. But man, the volume died off very quickly from there. It ended up holding over support, so you could see where it like wasted my time, where it ended up holding a higher low. I thought it was going to move back up, snap down. So I took a 4-cent loss at the time of OCGN moving up. It's painful, but missed opportunity. The SOS trade, at least for the afternoon now, just not really too keen on it, you could say. All right. We had one from this morning, Wheeler, new name that popped up on our radar here, WHLR, a very short-lived move, but after the market opened up, of course, we had called this out. Actually, you could see like right after 10 o'clock even, broke out from $4 all the way up towards just about 7. And then from there, same thing happened. Volume ended up dying out very quickly, ended up slamming down under 6, and then just chopped lower from there. All right, how about this? I'm going to check back in right now on the OCGN. I just got a ping from one of our students, Dave, saying the OCGN trade's pumping back up right away here again. So, yeah, there you go. It's on our list for a reason already. So, hopefully this can make like a 50-cent move from 5, at least go up to 550, and then play it, level by level from there. There we go. One of our C2 students, Bonnie, joining us on YouTube today. Welcome, Bonnie. All right, so hopefully I sound just as good on YouTube as I do inside the trading room. So let's hop right to it, folks. We'll go from top to bottom, see what else we get for the afternoon here so far. For any of the others that we ended up commenting on, calling out, trading, of course, we'll look to go over it pretty quick. This AAME trade, we ended up calling out definitely. We'll jump to that to begin. The UGRO. I don't know what the hell this is. Trading 58,000 shares total across the day. It's like definitely some sort of crazy short squeeze. Yeah, the AAME trade, you can see it's still up across the day total. I mean, ended up making a huge jump up overnight, but early after the market opened up, ended up running up very nicely from 4, broke out nicely from there up towards just about $15 or $14, that is, then broke out higher, basically up to 16. And then the wheels fell off from there. So this isn't necessarily the type of stock that I'm a fan of trading, that I would look to like force myself to trade. If there's an opportunity and if it's early within the run, I will definitely take it. But for as much as this goes up, and if I miss this move already, like I did myself, I know I'm not going to try and chase it. So it was just choppy after it got halted, moved up again after. So there's opportunity to get it if you're in at the right price, but yeah, this thing's driving down now. It's a mess. This LAIX trade also, I thought this was from pre-market, early from 7 o'clock, 7:15, broke out nicely from $6-7, broke out up to 9, popped as soon as the market opened up. Same thing though, wheels fell off, volume died off as people took profits. So when I say the volume died off, I really mean like the volume, the buying volume, that is first. The active people that are actually chopping away at the orders on the ask, that dies off. And when that dies off, the stock begins to shake around. You begin to see people take profits and sell on the bid. So then the volume picks up, but the selling volume, and then this thing really begins to kind of crap out. Mario here saying, thank you, Leda, for the early call out on the BSQR. That's right. I mean, well, certainly at this point now, we're not going to watch it, but definitely from the morning, one of our better trades. So a lot of stocks look like this now at this point, the BSQR, right? We've seen that, but fantastic trade from earlier this morning as well. Popped from like $4. I think this is pretty much a lot of chop here at first, but held a higher low ultimately, and then broke out once more here again. So fantastic run up the BSQR. I don't know what the news was on this trade. I don't want to press my luck because yesterday in the afternoon meeting, we ended up trying to go through news on like 3-4 symbols, and the theme was pretty much just no news. They're all just short squeezes off of like, yep, here we go. I knew it. And just so you folks don't think I'm like bluffing you here, this is too funny. E-Square shares trading higher on abnormal volume levels, not seeing any company-specific news. So that was the theme of yesterday. That'll be the theme of today. I don't think I'm going to look any further on Benzinga Pro. Now, Leda, she just gives the best comment to the afternoon meeting here. She says it doesn't really matter, right? No, it doesn't. I always like to just chime in with the news when I can because, you'd like to know why a stock is going up from like 2 to 9 across the pre-market and after the market open and then back down to 333. Like, what the hell happened here? So, just because there's no news doesn't mean that we won't trade it. We just have to know when to fold them before it really begins to go the other way on us. All right, go to the OCCG and we'll check back in with that at the very end. That's already on our list to begin. You could already see at the price 543. So OCGN probably already made that 50-cent move. JP, not to be confused with JG. JP here, making a little bit of a pop right now heading into the afternoon. 12,000 share order on the ask at 320. See if it gets filled. The volume died off from earlier here. You can see the volume bars after 2 o'clock. All right, I don't want to watch the paint dry here. Maybe I'll come back to this one if it ends up making a really good move for us. This TDC, I didn't even mean to click on this. T2, Tattoo, we like to call it. Just, familiar name. I was watching this from pre-market, but I figured early this wouldn't have been as good of a move. SPCB, same thing. A very Friday feel to this Friday, right? For as crazy of a week as we've had, crazy past 2 weeks. Finally, I feel like the market slowed down a little bit. A lot of stocks are kind of tailing off, rightfully so. We would expect that, A, at this time of the day, and then just B, this day of the week. All right, so I saw some chat. I saw it from earlier today. It was moving up nicely, and it still is. The Clovis, CLVS, moving up nicely heading into the afternoon here. I saw a couple of chats here from Donnie and Norman on this. So, yeah, CLVS, I'll definitely put on our list, tag alongside the OCGN stock. Just on our list, not to say they moved together. But, this stock came out with, like, phase 3 primary endpoint news, like, 3 weeks ago, I remember. That day, it, like, did nothing. And at the time, I said, well, keep an eye out on this trade. It can make for a nice move. That was before all of the short squeeze crap with, like, GameStop and AMC and all of that. You go on, like, websites, you look at stocks that have high short interest. Well, CLVS. So, it doesn't shock me that this ended up making a really nice run across the last few weeks since the news came out, from 550 all the way basically up to where it is now. So, yeah, definitely the CLVS I'll put on our main list. All right, cool. We'll keep it pushing. We got the VISL, Mavis. I think I kind of skipped over. Microvision here. Yeah, the MVIS looking just as strong, I'd say. The order book seems pretty tight still. I like that. I thought it would open up a little bit more heading into the afternoon for as much as it's ran up. I would expect a major iceberg order on the ask at 1250, 50-cent level. High of the day is 1240. That's why I say that. So, just because it's holding off the highs nicely here, that doesn't mean that's the only resistance ahead or the next one even. 1250 could be the major one to watch. All right, really quick, just got a comment on YouTube, just a question asking about the BSQR, probably just joined late, asking if it's still a move. No, I'm not looking at that BSQR right now at this point. It's already made such a big move up and down, just it's not worth it. I've been wrong in the past. Anyone can be wrong, right? So, if it ends up making a very big pop all of a sudden, I would call that pretty rare. So I'm not going to put my eggs in that basket, but, hopefully. What was the other one? Oh, the VISL, Norman. Yeah, this is popping up a little nicely here too. So let me just zoom out on the 1-minute chart. You can see on the 5-minute chart, it's pretty much at the highs, but a lot of buying seemingly coming into this trade right now. High of the day right now off 319, 320, 40,000 share order on the ask. I'd say the stock trades in like 5-cent levels. It's a good like level 1 stock, so I don't mind slipping this on here. The VISL, it's a good call. All right, we'll hop over to the losers list here, folks. I'm running good on water for right now. Past few days, I was like running on E here at the end. Let's see what we got. Just a bunch of stuff hard to borrow to begin. You got the VERU stock down 22+%. It's at the lows right now, practically off 11. I mean, 1071 D low, but major support off 11, you'd assume. It's so slow right now. That's my issue with it. The volume really died off. It kind of interests me, the fact that it has good liquidity on the order book. There's a 12K order on the bid off 11. That's your setup, so to say. It just is testing it right now, 44,000 share. All right, you know what? I'll kind of slip this on here too, alongside that VISL, kind of make the bottom of our list for right now. Good enough to put on. We'll see if it ends up providing us a more volatile opportunity in the final hour here. GoPro, not as much. It's not nearly as close to the lows, just as stagnant, I'd say. That's why for certain I'm not going to put this on our main list. My AVXL, what goes up comes back down. No surprise there. Geez, this thing really dumped off from yesterday. Got WWE off of earnings. I know that. What are they looking like here? Ooh, also what would appear to be a good setup, just seeing this at the lows, major support off of 50. A, there's no major iceberg order at 50, even though you'd hope for there to be one there. And then B, it's just also pretty expensive. So if I'm comparing the two between, what was it, the VERU and WWE, I'd rather trade Veru. I've always found a very interesting trade really quickly for anyone that follows wrestling and all that stuff. I used to as a kid. So, just funny enough, coming off their like WrestleMania season, which is coming up in April time, I think March or April, they usually have a nice run up. So find that to be pretty interesting. They dropped off of bad earnings here this morning. So, just keeping a small eye on it maybe over the next month. All right, folks, that's all I got for you. If there's anything else that you see up, down, left, right, more than like 5%, just type it in the chat board here. I like the name in our chat board right now, and in Cyber Group, we got a guy named Texas Ranger asking, so WWE? Yes, I love that nickname, by the way. Yeah, I got nothing on Benzinga Pro. The only one that I do have is actually the one that one of us on YouTube's commenting on here from Dan on YouTube. He's asking XELA. Yeah, I saw this just pop up on my Benzinga Pro, and I said, maybe I'll look at it. But then I looked at YouTube, and I saw your comment. I'm like, all right, I'll check it out. So I appreciate that you called it out. Nice pop here. This catches my eye on the way up to 48,000 share order on the ask. All right, Dan, nice job. All right, folks, I think that just about does it. I think we're good now at this point. So, as always, first and foremost, for all of us on social media, make sure that you like, subscribe, notify right on our YouTube channel just to know when we're going live, when we're not, just to catch our streams. That's at youtube.com/cybertradingu. Outside of that, though, enjoy your weekend. All right, just I hope it's nice out where you live. I hope that you have the chance to do something nice outside. I've been stuck inside all week. Just it's been snowy and cold outside, so not much to do. I'm going to enjoy my weekend myself. Outside of that, for all of us inside the live trading room, I'm going to jump back on the mic probably in the next 15-20 minutes, taking you into the close. All right, folks, take care.